Okay, and just so you know, I do record this. It goes up on YouTube. I will send you the private YouTube link so you can share it into your team page or do whatever you like with it, putting it on your training website and all that kind of stuff. So thank you so, so much for being on this call with us tonight. I'm so excited. You know, I'm excited to see you, for one. I'm excited to meet you. It's always really, really cool, you know, the faces that we see every day and being able to connect with you. So that's awesome. And being able to learn from you. So thank you. I'm excited. And at the end, you guys, I'm sure that we can take a couple of minutes. If you have questions, go ahead and post them into the chat and we can answer them at the very end of the call. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for having us. Not just me, but I see a whole whack of my team has also joined us. Thank you for that. And I just want to give a brief mention. I see there's 4 brand new coaches of mine, at least, and maybe other brand new coaches altogether. So what an honor to talk to people who are joining a team call for the first time. I always appreciate that. Casey is such a ridiculously awesome leader. I am so humbled to be asked to speak to you guys by her. I think it's so important to have a good upline because there are so many bad uplines. And there are so many coaches that are posting, and like you see it in groups or places, and it just makes you like your stomach turn because that person is just posting like a lunatic. And it's because another lunatic is telling them to do it. So when you have someone who's not a lunatic, it's always a good thing. And I think that Casey is just, you guys are an established, strong team. And it's so good to see because we are kind of babies. We are only just turning 3. So it's always good to see long-lasting success because this is what we all want in the business. So I'm just quickly going to share my screen. I'm a slideshow type of person because I talk way too much without any kind of, without any kind of restraint. Okay, so just a little bit about me. I started when I was 34 years old. I am now turning 37, which if you're older than that, I'm sure you're like, whatever, but I'm not older than that. I'm turning that, and it's interesting to me to be like so close to 40. But I started at 34. So if you're anywhere in your 20s and you're a coach, my gosh, do you not have the world at your feet? Because you will probably really struggle as a coach in your 20s for a little bit because it's hard to be a very young coach. But by the time you're established, you're going to be like dominating everything. So I didn't have that advantage. I was a mom at the time of a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And that's our family picture just the month I signed up to coach. And I actually looked like I didn't look like I had gained much weight. And my before picture is in the corner. And honestly, it was like 25 pounds. But I'm 100 pounds in general because I'm a very small person. Like I have a tiny pigeon skeleton. And so 100 pounds, if you're carrying 25 on top of that, that's actually a quarter of your weight. That is a lot for a small person when you talk percentages. And the weight manifested for me, it was anxiety. So I'm an outgoing, talkative person. As long as you don't surprise me, then it's bad. But overall, I like to talk. I smile a lot. I communicate. So whenever I tell people that I have anxiety, they're like, I bet you do, sweetheart. Because I don't manifest, like I don't show the anxiety. Who does that? Like very few people like rock in the corner. By the time they do that, they're like on medication. I was like silently on medication. I was like silently treating it, silently suffering, but my anxiety was debilitating. So for that picture of our family, I remember we were having family pictures with my in-laws. I went and I bought this like $14 sweater out of like Loblaws because I wanted something pink and I hated everything on me. My jeans were so uncomfortable, I wanted to cry. And I was flashing this like trained smile because I've worked a lot of places where I've represented a brand or a company or myself. And so I can smile really big. And if you don't know me, you probably won't know that it's like a dead smile. There's nothing there. Trevor's like having the time of his life, the kids or whatever. But I wasn't. Like I Pinterested family pictures to find like a super cute one for a Christmas card. And to me, it was this big show. And I went through a whole year of postpartum with that big show and really struggling. But at night, It was like, you guys, it was like Indiana Jones. Like the walls were coming in, like in the temple, the walls like start crushing them. That would happen to me at night. And Trevor would say to me, he's a fixer. He's not a feeler. So he's like, what's happening? Like what is wrong? So I can fix it. And I'll be like, oh, but there isn't like one thing that's wrong. Everything's wrong. And not just everything is wrong. Nothing's ever going to be okay. And that's anxiety. It's irrational. It's irrelevant. You cannot put a label on it. You cannot explain to it. Its anxiety is defined as the irrational worry. So if you know you're being irrational, you can't rationalize it to somebody to fix it. You can't. And I have a fixer of a husband. So this was tough for him and impossible for me. And I have a bachelor's of science in zoology. I'm like a sciencey person. I always want to know like numbers and stats and stuff like that. And I knew if I just worked out, I would feel better because, I mean, the research is there. Moderate exercise and therapy. So speaking to someone about your feelings and working out moderately has the exact same proven results as clinical medication for moderate to mild anxiety. Scientifically proven. And what do? We run challenge groups where people tell you how they're feeling. It's kind of like therapy. It's awful sometimes. And it's wonderful other times. But people like unload. Like, you know, you get that challenger who just wants to lose like 20, 30 pounds. And then they lose 10 pounds and tell you about that time their boss like did something really awful to them. And you're like, oh, that came out of nowhere. Okay. Read this book. I don't know. And then like they lose another 10 pounds and suddenly they tell you about their marriage, which is like completely falling apart. And they're actually like seeing somebody else and their husband's seeing somebody else. And you're like, why do you keep getting more broken the more weight you lose? And it's because they're not. They gained all this weight because there's so much they're carrying in their like emotional state. So when the weight falls off, they start to unload the reasons behind the weight. And so this is why it's therapeutic. And this is why it's kind of like taking meds. I'm not putting meds down. I took them for a year and it was really quiet in my head. It was great. So I knew I had to do that. And I knew something had to change. And I walked into the business with some advantages. And I think it's really important to look at growth and know where it came from. Everybody walks into the business with advantages and disadvantages. If you're older, your advantages is that your friends probably have some money. So like if you're in your 35, you know, like $150 is different when you're 35 to when you're 20. Really different, like life and death different. So an advantage to being older is, hey, your friends can afford some stuff easier. Disadvantage is, well, maybe you need to like backtrack on your transformation because you've had a longer time to be like really off the wagon. Young people, obviously, transformations are faster. They have bigger networks. They know social media better. Their friends are totally drunk and have no money. So no matter where you started, you have advantages and disadvantages. So I'm going to tell you about my advantages. Disadvantage, I'm South African. Beachbody is not in South Africa. They're not planning to go to South Africa either. I don't believe anytime soon. We're going to England, which is great. But I had 50 like Canadian friends. Everybody else was African. And they were very interested in what I was doing. And there was absolutely nothing I could do to help them. So I had no network whatsoever. I had just deleted like, I don't know, 250 people from my Facebook before I became a coach because I was like cleaning out my Facebook from people that were annoying, people that needed help, by the way. So that was awful. You're welcome, everybody else that's a more mature coach that probably ended up getting those clients. So I had very few friends, but advantage, I had birth clubs and they are like, if you're having a baby, it's really going to help your business. It's going to make you crazy and also help your business because, you know, birth clubs are all moms, all experiencing the same things. I was in birth clubs. That helped me. And also, I've worked for Disney. I've worked for the Royal Ontario Museum. I can speak to people. And I can speak to people with passion because I come from the nonprofit world. So that was an advantage over the disadvantages. Another disadvantage, I am on an inside spouse dead leg. So volume-wise, I'm like 3 moons from Earth in a crater, in a volcano with a dragon on top of it, and lava covers the whole place. No one's ever placed a coach under me. I don't expect anybody to ever place a coach under me. And if I had a coach like me, guess what? I'd never place coaches under her either. I'd be like building opposite, as far away as possible from her. That's how the business works. So another disadvantage was, my God, like I made no money whatsoever for like a year. I was like a nonprofit organization. Please let me give you 20 million hours of my time. Don't worry about anything. I work for free. And my marriage is on the rocks because of it, but I'm still doing it. So it's important to know something's huge advantage. I like to meet people. I like to talk. I have a personality where people feel like at ease with me because they don't have to do the talking, and people prefer not to talk sometimes. Disadvantage, like I had to overcome insane resentment over my placement. Like personal development, like 24/7 about placement and about why didn't I find out about this business opportunity as a business before I signed up. All for good reason, by the way, but like a disadvantage. So once I did get into coaching, this is like just a fast forward real quick. So my first transformation is in the top left. I did PIO. So I signed up as a coach with a challenge pack because my friend was having a birthday. And I was like, well, she must get like an extra bonus or something if you also sign up to be a coach in a stupid pyramid scheme. And so I'll like give her this like sign up cult bonus and then quit later and get Shakeology, which is probably going to murder me and give me cancer. I'll do that for 2 months because PIO is 2 months. And then I'm going to quit everything. She keeps the deposit. I get some discount on this insane stuff that's a ripoff. And then hopefully I'm skinny. That was like how I walked into this business. And so you can see my middle transformation 5 weeks in. I went back to work at the 5-week mark. So I walked into the office and I would bring like my shaker cup with me for lunch and be like super angry that I'm drinking the shake while everyone's like eating Wendy's, which was my favorite. So people were like, Ellie, you were small, but like you're getting, the PIO arms. They were like, you're getting like, you look good. You just came back from maternity leave. And I was like, I'm doing this thing and it's working. It's good. And they were like, what thing is it? And I was like, show you a picture of me in my underwear. And people were like, well, like I need to do something. What is it like? What are you drinking? And I was like, oh, it's a shake, but I think it's okay. Like, I don't think I'm getting cancer from it. I'm pretty sure I'm okay. Because I was so against them. So I projected that on anybody who asked. And people were like, no, I don't care. Like, if it's helping you, I want it. And I was like, it literally took me 2 hours in my office to realize I worked with all women and every single one of them was unhappy with themselves. Every single one of them, even the ones that look fit, were like, but my inner thighs are a mess, just a mess. And I felt like, well, this is stupid. Like, are you kidding me? I've been working out at home for like 30 minutes and I have changes. I'm showing people pictures of myself in my underwear for free. I mean, like, this is insanity. And they like want to join me. This opportunity is not rocket science. It's like, hey, we're all unhappy. Here's something that's making me happy and my butt looks good. So like, I don't want to murder somebody. I stopped screaming at my kids for like 10 minutes. And also my butt looks good. And my husband is like happy because I'm not like a maniac anymore. And it's like $150. Like, really? Like, this isn't rocket science. So you can see the middle picture is when I went back to work. You can see 5 weeks later, I decided to coach because look at the way I'm posing. I'm like, yeah, all right, success. We're gonna run a fitness business. Like I'm holding my abs in so hard in that picture. I almost got a hernia. Like I was hoping my biceps were getting bigger from flexing my abs so hard. But that was like the attitude of like, this is it. Okay, so in the meantime, went very quickly. My kids are now much older. Again, I have a huge advantage now. So whereas the first year was hell, like I worked for 9 months before I quit. Both my kids were in full-time daycare. So I was spending like almost $2,000 a month to keep my kids in somebody else's care while I worked my job. And I am not a money person. I'm becoming a money person because now I own a business. But I'm not a budget person. So one day, my husband and I went to dinner and I said to him, all right, how much do I take home? And he goes like, how much salary you earn? And I was like, no, they give me the salary. I know, I see it. But how much per month do I take home? What do I pay for? and how much do I take home? And he was like, oh, this is not a conversation you want to have. And I was like, give it to me. Like, I need to know. He was like, well, you pay for all the daycare. So that's like almost $2,000. I was like, well, that's already bad because I'm making like, what, $1,600 a week? And then he goes, yeah, and then they tax that. I was like, they tax that? Like, just no clue about that part of life. And he goes, well, yeah. So I said, okay, how much do I make per month that I take home? And he goes, $800. And I was like, what? Like, I can go on the street and make $800 hassling people for, like, I don't know, play dice games or something. What do people gamble on? Something. Like 800. I have 2 degrees. I was working 45 hours a week and I took home $800. That's like African wages. I left Africa because of wages like that. And he goes, well, you know, but you got to think there's RRSPs that they're helping you with, and, you know, you get vacation. And I was like, vacation for making $800 a month? And he goes, well, yeah, and, you know, you also have, like, medical. And I was like, but you have medical. We don't even need my medical. And he was like, well, no, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's how life works. It's really bad. Everybody's like this. So I said, so wait, but like Beachbody makes me like $150 a week. And I'm not doing a lot, like 2-3 hours a day, maybe, sometimes more, because I started doing that instead of working my job at the office, which was nice. So he was like, well, yeah. So for me to leave my job, it wasn't like I made $60,000 to leave my job. I didn't have to earn my $60,000. I had to earn, and this is what I always tell my coaches that are like, I'm gonna leave my job. And you ask, you know, how much do you make? $100,000. Oh, it's gonna take some time to replace that problem. But if you work out how much will allow you to stay home, that's different. So like for me, $800 a month allowed me to stay home. And for a lot of households, there's this awful statistic people keep posting on social media, and they multi-level marketing when they post that. It makes me sick, but it's true. I just would never post it. But $500 a month is like the make or break in a divorce sometimes. Like sometimes a couple is so into a financial crisis that $500 a month would actually fix their marriage, because it would take that pressure off. So don't underestimate what a regular monthly income can do. For me, $800 it took me home. So I left my job in 9 months. To Elite in 2 years. The Elite thing, totally unplanned, because I'm on a dead leg, like on Mars, like I said. So I have to build evenly. So like if I had a power leg, which if you're a brand new coach, but if I had like a power leg, I would be the richest 3-star diamond on the planet and never advance until like I was maxing out on volume, because Elite is pretty and I love it, love it, love it, but I wouldn't like throw out $100,000 to get it. I'd buy myself whatever they give you, a nice frame, you know, and like a crown. I'd buy myself like the top coach crown and wear it on social media. So for me, different drivers. So, and they featured me. This is the funniest part. They featured me as a success story, as a financial success story on the Beachbody blog when I was in tears every night about how my business was in shambles. Because my view was so skewed of what success is, but success is so many different things, which I'm learning now. 6 figures in 3 years, that just means that I've averaged, like, what is it, 1,750 a week. Disclaimer, Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income from the Beachbody Coach opportunity, and it's basically like getting the 21-day fix. If you get the 21-day fix and shove it under your bed, you're not going to get abs, and you can't sue us for that. And also, if you become a coach and you never do much with it, you're also never going to earn any kind of income, and you also cannot sue us for that either. So just a little like thing. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how I do it. I haven't changed anything I'm doing in 3 years. The only thing that's changed is that I've got better at posing the camera, and also like learned to put on makeup a little bit, which is not today because I stopped wearing mascara, which we'll talk about, by the way. So the success formula. It's, you've got to first of all realize something. You've got to realize that you're overcomplicating everything. You're holding yourself back. And the more relaxed you are and the more fun you have and the more joy you find, you will move through the darkness, because gosh, there's a lot of darkness when you own a small business. And it's supposed to be that way. Otherwise, nobody would make a living if everybody was like super successful, right? Like you have to beat the people that quit to get there. So first of all, none of this will work. None of the tips I give you, not your transformation, not 6 gallons of Shakeology, not your upline, not Beachbody on demand, not free trials, extensions, nothing will work if you are not passionate about at least one aspect of your business. If that passion isn't there and you don't learn to be unabashed about it, none of this is ever going to work. You don't have to be a loud speaking person, but you have to have loud beliefs. If you don't have that, that's it. Like this business is not for you. You're looking for something else. You have to feel passion. It doesn't have to be passion for like saggy or weights or 6-packs. Passion for something. Something in this business is driving you. You're sitting on a very weird conference call right now with internet people you've never met. Some of you for the first time. This is a weird thing to do on a Monday night, and 99% of the population is not doing this. Why are you? Why are you here? What is it that makes you like want this? It's got to be your belief. So if you haven't read, start with why. Read it, then get it on audio, and then read it again, and then host a team call on it so that you can really make sure you can friggin' explain it. Watch his TED Talk as well. Don't just like listen to it in your car while you're chewing gum and your kids are being a nightmare in the back. Like study what he's saying and dig deep, like on why he's saying it. This is the book. It's not about ads. It's not about free groups. It's about belief. Belief comes from passion. If you passionately believe in something, you are going to move mountains for it. And it could be your why. I know people are like, get your why. Would you run across a bridge to another building for your why? Like if your favorite pair of shoes was in a burning building, you're probably not going to go in, depending on the shoes. But if your kids are in that building, you are definitely going to go in, again, depending on your kids probably. But you will probably go into the building to save them. So that's different, your why to your passion. So my why is because I freaking like doing what I'm doing. I want my family to be secure. I really, really want to get my mom out of Africa, which is difficult because she doesn't want to leave. So I might have to hire like a hitman to bring her, which is really expensive probably. So I really want to help my family in Africa. That's a big why. Like, what if there's a civil war? What if the AIDS virus mutates and becomes airborne? I'm a zoologist. Things worry me. Anxiety is still a thing for me, by the way. It's just channeling. But like, I want to help my family in Africa. And that's a big why. I need an income. And I just hired an assistant like on a teeny tiny basis. And now I'm like, I'm paying somebody. I'm helping somebody's family. This is really stressful. And Trevor's like, but you're helping our family. I'm like, yeah, I don't care about you guys. You can eat potatoes. I've just promised somebody like a job. So that's a why, right? But it's not my passion. My passion isn't to bring my mom here. Like I've cut the apron strings to some extent. My passion is I know women are so passionate. All of us are because we're hysterical. And hysterics and passion goes hand in hand, And I know that a lot of us are numb. Because I was numb, like completely numb. Like I know that a lot of women are numb. And a lot of women tell themselves like the nastiest stuff that they hear from other women too. Things like, oh, who do you think you are? Why would this happen to you? Like, oh, just look at you. Ugh. That's like in our heads sometimes. And I know that fitness can just shut that voice up. And to me, I'm so passionate about that. My favorite transformations are when my challenges tell me that it takes them long to brush their hair because every time they lift their arms up, they're like, oh yeah. Like that's my favorite. I want women who become incredibly vain. My goal is to create complete vanity. And like, I know there's this whole like, don't glorify your body if you're a Christian. I'm an Orthodox Christian, so I feel entitled to speak on the subject of that. But just so you know that part of the Bible was written by men who didn't let women vote for another like 3 millennia after that. So the whole like don't glorify your body, I don't know if God said that, or men who had to give permission to their like daughters to get married to another man, and if that man died, your brother got charge of you. So like, you know, it's okay for us to actually think our bodies are fantastic. It's okay for you to think your butt is getting awesome. Like, you're not going to get smited by that. I don't think God cares. Plus, he made your butt and he probably wants you to stop ruining it anyway. So I want that for women. I believe, and this is the thing I want to tell you. This is like, can you tell this is like important to me? That and dairy. But I won't talk about dairy here. But cows are just really abused. But anyway, the women thing. You know how people say she's full of herself? Give me one woman who's full of herself, who's in an abusive relationship. Give me one woman who thinks too much of herself, who's taking advantage of at work. Give me one woman who's full of herself, who is being sexually harassed and is keeping quiet. Do you know what the answer is? 0. Do you think a boss could ever harass me? Ever? In any circumstance? No, because I'll become a muppet. Like that little pep squeaky one. Like I'll set the place on fire with contentment and complaints. So women like me who actually like themselves, we do good because we don't get this stuff attracted to us. We are not victimized because we are empowered from within. And that is something we have to fight for. We have to tell other women that no, she's not full of herself. She's just happy. And if you think someone's full of themselves, you are unhappy. Because I don't think anyone's full of themselves. I see someone who's like that and I'm like, oh, she slept well. Damn it. I should have slept better, drank more Energized, got to get to that energy level. I don't get angry about it. And some women get angry when they see a woman who's like, yeah, sweaty selfie. So that's passion. I will stand and talk about that forever. This doesn't have to be a thing. Love handles doesn't have to be a thing. Maybe it's children. Maybe it's how we train our kids to be us. Like the problems we have become our children's problems. If any of you have daughters, I don't know how you sleep at night. I have 2 boys, and all I have to worry about is what kind of husbands will they make. So I'm teaching them to cook for me as practice. So, you know, but with daughters, like, man, if I had daughters, that would probably be my thing even more, is what are these women going to grow up to be? So you got to find this like, right? You got to find what it is. Okay, you guys, a few years ago, many years ago before I started coaching, like when the Bombshell Dynasty was established, huge success, and it was based on lifestyle. I'm a coach. My lifestyle is wonderful. I take a selfie. Would you like to take selfies and have a wonderful lifestyle? Become a coach. Well, that worked until every MLM started doing it. Why wouldn't you do the same thing and be with like Rogan and Fields? You know, amazing skincare. You don't have to work out. You don't have to eat clean. Slap some stuff on your face. Don't pick at your face for goodness sake. It's a huge problem I'm overcoming. So, and then you could be like, lifestyle. We are not product salespeople. It doesn't work anymore. You can't go out there and be like, my lifestyle is amazing. We're a health and fitness company. And so you need to focus on your health and your actual fitness. Whatever that looks like to you, the best shape of your life. You need to stop right now and ask yourself, am I in the best shape of my life? Am I actually giving fitness my all? If I was my challenger, would I be proud of my efforts or be like, I just wish she'd just freaking follow the program? Like all of these problems she's complaining about would just vanish if she read the meal plan. I see what she's eating. Why is she calling that healthy? You know, what do you count that as? Crap. You count it as crap. Don't eat it. So you need to be honest with yourself. What kind of a challenger are you? Because if you're a bad challenger, you're probably not a great coach. Like, I hate to say it, but like if you can't walk the walk, it's very difficult to tell people how to do it. So you're in a health and fitness field and you need to represent your field, which is health and fitness. You don't have to have abs. I had 25 pounds to lose. I had to get definition because the only way I could have a transformation is to go from like, no, to oh. That was it. Like that was the only where. There's no in between where I am. But if you're further along, you have this long journey to document. Take your time. As long as you can show me a new before and after every month. As long as you can show me a new before and after every single month. And if you can't, you're not doing your job. If your body isn't changing, if your mind isn't changing, if your attitude isn't changing every single month, and you're not documenting that clear as day on your profile, you're not doing your job, because you're a health and fitness coach. Even if you focus on mentoring other coaches, it's in health and fitness. And then selfies and Facebook and Instagram and all that other stuff. Okay, now there's also more to you than like I lost weight. Like you can do that by starving yourself too and be like, anorexia is awesome, look at me go. So obviously there's more than that. And you cannot be a billboard of fitness, because do you know what people feel like about someone who works out 7 times a day? Just resentment. They can't manage to get off the couch for 30 minutes and you worked out twice, and then unless those are your people. Now, there are some people who actually want to work out twice. And if you're like Danielle Natoni, who's like ripped, shredded, and it hurts to look at her abs, well, then you have a different audience. But if you're an ordinary person building up a coaching repertoire, you want to be like more than just like Shakeology and fitness, because that's freaking boring, really, right? So you've got to do more to that, but you got to represent your transformation monthly. Like Throwback Thursday, seriously guys, Transformation Tuesday, I feature somebody. Throwback Thursday, I talk about myself. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And then you're like, I get coaches that have been coaches for like 3 months, and they go, I think my network's getting bored of my transformation. Do you know what we're watching on TV? We're watching like transformations, DIY home renovations. What are those shows? Like they're the #1 shows right now. Is like house flips. It's a before and after. We are obsessed with before and afters. We want to see something that was okay or awful, and then it became amazing. That's all we want to see. People are not bored of your transformation. Funny as still, this is the only before picture I have. Like, I mean, how many pictures do you think where I look like this, got in a bikini and took pictures of myself? One. I have one of them. So for 3 years, when I throw back to the beginning, which I don't always, I throw like this program did this program did that. Oh my gosh, look, Christmas in Disney. I have lost all my abs. This is alarming. And then I'll be like, do you remember when I started? Same picture for 3 years. And then I have it from like different angles, but that's it, like 3 different shots. They're not bored of it. And plus, if you're adding people to your network, they have no idea that you've ever posted that before. So again, don't overcomplicate it. Just throw back to yourself and show other people, because self-love. Okay, so if you suck at this on a personal level, like if you are yo-yoing and you're piling weight back on and it comes off, and then you're drinking like 3 Shakeologies a day and you're not even like doing the program properly, and you drop off of every program, and then you're like, oh, it's really difficult to build a business. Dude, you've got no, what are you doing? Like, no, your business isn't moving because you are not moving. You have to get this figured out. Your personal journey is more important than building this business, and more important than your income. And you have to stop trying to sell people on what you're doing until you sell yourself on what you're doing and actually do it. Like, you can't convince other people to do it if you can't get up in the morning and get your workout in. You can't, because your heart is obviously misfiring somewhere. So it's probably personal development. You're not lazy and you're not stupid. There's something holding you back. And a lot of the time is that, I mean, think of what a transformation is. You have to become somebody else. Your face will change before your body does. It's change on the most fundamental level. You're going to feel different. You're going to talk different. You're going to be a different person. Maybe that's a little bit scary on some level for you. Maybe your spouse is absolutely terrified that you're going to do that, and who knows what's going to happen. Maybe there's some insecurities in your relationship that are coming up because he's like, she's going to get hot. Hot people leave their husbands. This is a thing, by the way. So you need to stop. If this isn't happening for you, go to your coach and ask them to be a challenger. You don't have to stop what you're doing. Do your 4 vital behaviors. Start documenting, but go to your coach and say, I need to get in your challenge group, in that challenge tracker app. I keep saying I'm going to use and I'm still not using. And you need to watch me log or not log and knock on my door and get me to do it. Help me, coach me, right? So if you are having problems with this, seek help from the person who brought you into this business. And if that person has like vanished, is the same as you are, because like attracts like, go higher. Go to the coach that's getting epic results and be like, I need business help, but before that, I need to like get my SHIT together. So you got to do that. Like, they're looking for authority. You can only get authority from experience. If you don't have experience achieving results, you cannot give them authority. And why would you want to be coached by someone who has no authority? Like, that's the blind, leading the blind. That's awful. Okay, so success formula number 3. Okay, so this is very important. People look to the leader. You are the leader, whether you choose to see yourself like that or not. On your net, like on your Facebook, you are the leader. And so they look at you for what's possible. They don't believe it's going to happen for them because you're the leader. And there's only one leader and they don't believe they're a leader. This is why they're in trouble and they need help. So they're like, yeah, well, of course Ellie's doing that. That's Ellie. Ellie's crazy. So they need to see your challengers and fellow coaches get results to believe it can happen for them. So you are the leader and they like believe it's possible, not for them, but they'll follow your challengers because they can look at you and go, what? It's Ellie, she's crazy. But then they look at my mother-in-law down below in 6 weeks. Look at those bat wings. She could like fly. We had to sometimes in a windstorm tell her to hold her arms down because she would just fly away. Like this is her joke, by the way, not mine. So 6 weeks, she's 60. I don't even know how this is possible, but the 21 they fixed it. And then she told me she was only working out her one arm because the other arm was like not, I don't know what she was doing, but whatever. She did the best she could. And in 2 rounds of the 21 they fixed, like had some sort of a surgical like results. So when they see that, they're like, well, it's not just Ellie who's insane, but like, look at this woman. She's 60. Well, if a 60-year-old body can do that, why can't my 40-year-old body do that? And then they see you that, which you might have to move the screens around to see her after picture. People don't believe it's her. Like her bone structure changed in her face because like she had crazy cheekbones and no one knew that. And so they need to see you have success. Now I know if you're a brand new coach, you're like, well, my challengers don't want to share their transformations. I know they don't. It's horrible. People are terrible. But you know what? You are in an epic team full of amazing results. Look at Casey. I see her on my screen and I've been admiring her shoulders this whole time. Like, she has a transformation. She had a baby. 0. So you have transformations at your fingertips and you can share them. You don't have to say, this is my challenger and I did this. And you also don't have to say, this is my coach and it had nothing to do with the transformation, but I want to show you guys how it works. No, you go, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of this person. Because aren't you so proud of the transformation? Like, oh, look at Madison's butt, for goodness sake. It's ridiculous. And you're like, I cannot believe this transformation because it shows what she overcame. Not like, oh, you know, the things work so well, you should buy it with Shakeology. But you show your feelings. Like, say, you know, she has 2 little kids and they don't sleep. And her frustration levels were going through the roof. And she started working out. And she did it so she's a better mom and more patient mom. But now, honestly, her husband benefited the most. Like, it's craziness. So there's a story behind every transformation, and you're allowed to own the pride in sharing it. Very different from shoving before and after as like the rock people do, good grief. You can be like, I am so proud because Judith was really worried about diabetes and depression, and she wouldn't get out of the house. And now she's a certified freaking fitness coach. She couldn't get into some seats, and now she's a fitness coach. It's insanity. And so your network is like, well, this is working for Ellie. This is lovely, but frick, like it's working for everybody but me. I'm not doing it. They're all doing it. Every week somebody's doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm just getting bigger, more depressed. I just screamed at my kids. And you don't want them to comment, like, don't put this post up and then you're like, I'm going to sell 16 challenge packs. That's awesome. No, this is like somebody's going to get inspired and then they're going to have a bad day. They're going to go try something on in like some awful lit change room. Their husband's going to say something really stupid in the kitchen. Their kid's going to ask them if they're pregnant. Something bad's going to happen. And then that's the test of all the Beachbody coaches they have in the newsfeed. If they have more than one, maybe you're lucky and you're the only one. They're going to think of one, the coach that's most passionate, the coach that's most consistent, most positive, most real, the coach that tells them they ate the frigging ice cream and so now the burpees should feel extra bad and well, you eat more ice cream anyway. That coach will come into their head. And that post that got so few likes and nobody really commented on, that's going to stay with them. And they're going to message you and there'll be no questions and there'll be no, what is the Shakeology? Can I just get over that, the Shakeology? There'll be none of that. You will get a random post that will say, or a random message that will say, sign me up. With zero conversation. And you'll be like, sign me up for what? I hope you're talking about Beachbody. Because like they said nothing to you. It's because they've been watching you. They've been thinking about it, and that tipping point came for that, and all those seeds you sowed on your profile, boom, they're ready. And it's that consistency of showing, this, I feel good, I feel better, this has changed me, this has changed other people, right? So this is important. Not every coach shows transformations. And whether you do inside or outside, you need to share transformation once a week. Disclaimer. You cannot use the ones from Beachbody to say that they won $1,000. And if you do and I see it and I know you're Casey's, I'll send her a screenshot and tell her to slap you for me. Because then it's like, she won $1,000. Is that what? Like, is that what you're selling? $1,000? That's insanity, right? Like, corporate Beachbody is marketing to different people that they're going to give you as leads. They're not talking to your people, so you cannot take those pictures. So, like, don't the whole, with the 21 Epics in Shakeology, like, oh my God, it doesn't matter with what she did it. Like, she did it, and you believe in it. So, don't make them like the corporate salesy ones. Just talk about people behind the change. Okay, this is how I post. So, I pulled out these from recently. I had to skip Summit because if you didn't go to Summit, yes, you made a mistake, for sure. And it's hurt your business, yes. It's how it is. That's okay. You can go to next Summit and reverse that and become an epic coach who tells their coaches, I didn't go to Summit, they'd be stupid and I haven't missed one since, so you better not miss one either. Summit gives you amazing posting. I didn't put any of those posts in there because, well, there was only 30,000 people at Summit. So here is the post I made. Shakeology. You will never see me hold a shaker cup that says Shakeology on it. It's turned around. Maybe it says I'm a 365er. They don't know what that means. They think it's like dinosaur years. So I will never do that. This is how I post about Shakeology. I'm wearing my sunglasses, but I'm in my pajamas, but my kids are about to go to school because the lunch bags are there. I don't understand that. It's just how it happened. But I was literally drinking out of the blender like thing, and I thought, I bet you everybody does that. So I stopped drinking out of it. I went and I got my stand. I put up my phone while my kids were getting late for the bus, and I took the perfect shot because this is how I run my business. It's a priority. So then I titled it, some people, I don't know if I can drink raw food smoothie every day, ... And here's me. And so people look at that and they don't know, first of all, what raw food smoothie is. They think I'm making something myself out of hemp or something. And that's fine. I don't want them to know what I'm drinking. I want them to talk to me, which, by the way, if you're at Summit, that's what Shalene says, like, stop leading with the product. You know what they do? They go to Kijiji. And they go Shakeology, and they buy a bag of food from a random stranger who might also murder them to save $20 and have no coach. It's that they're literally risking their lives. Don't let them get murdered on Kijiji. Don't tell them what it is. And if you tell them what it is, be really, really specific about how you do it. Okay, so then this was like my most popular Shakeology post because 44 likes is not crazy, but for like a Shakeology post, it's crazy because people veer away from promotion, right? Okay. The post below where I'm like holding my face like this, seriously, I don't know why 101 people thought it was funny. But I just said that it was a conversation I had. I told my boys I'm going into the shower I took my clothes off, opened the shower door, and my naked boys were already in the shower with their toys ready to shower with me, because mom life, you never do anything alone, right? So that speaks to my network, because guess what? They're stuck at home with their annoying little kids that won't let them shower by themselves too, right? And then, okay, you're going to have to move the screens to see it, but the one with me eating bacon, I actually took the picture to talk about how my meal plan is grain-free, because it's chip shop, obviously, which I'll never say out loud, and I pause with my shirt so you can't see what it says on it. I want to talk about how, hey, look, a snack for grain-free meal plan. That's not too bad. And then veered off on how I can't wear mascara anymore in my post. And like 140 people felt the urge to comment below and give their opinion on wearing or not wearing mascara. First of all, I would never comment on anything that has more than 3 comments, because I'd be like, well, enough people have chimed in. 140 people felt really, really inclined to talk to me about the mascara. This is a better engagement post than the overused, should I wear this or should I wear that? A or B? Here's the problem with the A or B post. What do you do from there? Like, what do you do from there? So you got all these algorithms. You better put up a really good invite straight off the bat in the next 5-6 hours, because they're going to see it. But you can't message people and be like, about dress B. Do you wear dresses too? Do you want to wear smaller dresses? Like, where would you go with that? How do you make that into a conversation? Like, about that. So instead, though, if you're talking about makeup or something that they're doing, you can get back to them in a PM and be like, I don't know who the heck you are, but you have an opinion about my eyelashes. Okay. So instead of replying to them, reply to them and then message them and be like, yeah, those extensions, have you tried it? Now we have a conversation. We're forming a relationship. I'm never going to do that, but I'm going to like ask you questions about the weird thing you're doing with your eyeballs. So good engagement post versus like the cheap A or B post. It's like, I had 70 comments. Okay, and like, now what? Like, start inviting or something, because I don't know how you're going to turn that into talking. Okay, and the next one is my kids. So the only difference in these posts between 3 years ago is I use nicer filters and I do my eyebrows. Like, I got product for my eyebrows, so it changed my business. I don't know why. It's weird. People are weird. So you will tweak things and you'll go, but you got to know something. Your life is interesting. The mundane stuff you hate is the mundane stuff someone else is avoiding while they scroll Facebook. So if you tell them that you're avoiding folding the laundry, like, there'll be many women on your newsfeed who'll be like, I have 7 baskets. How often do you get told that people keep rewashing their stuff because they don't want to put it in the dryer? That's clinical, man. I'm too OCD for that kind of stuff, but people do it. I'm an environmentalist. I'm like, tell me who these people are with the water. Okay, so, but people do it. Oh, like, they'll run the dryer for 7 hours just so they don't fold and it doesn't wrinkle. I'm from Africa, man. Come on, resources. Okay, so actionable items. Are you ready? This is the stuff. Okay, so you're all like, hey, this is fun. I can post about my kids. This is great. And then tomorrow you're going to wake up and be like, I'm so boring. And like, my transformation's so slow. I have nothing to say. So here's stuff you can do so you don't do that tomorrow morning. First of all, realize that 1 in 3 is moderately satisfied with their fitness. 2/3 of the population are super sick, super unhappy, super anxious, super exhausted. So you are doing something about it, and like almost nobody else is. So realize that you have the advantage of experience, even if it's been 5 minutes. Nobody else is doing anything. So that's awesome. You can tell people that you have passion for something, because guess what they feel? Nothing. They watch Netflix for 3 hours. Okay, so number 2, you have helped people. Maybe you haven't had any clients yet, but are you in a challenge group? Have you commented on somebody's post in your challenge group as a good challenger to encourage them? You help that person. They don't even know who you are. You just got put together in a challenge group and you help them by encouraging them. So you're not just doing something for yourself. You're doing something that 99% of the population isn't doing, which is you're helping strangers for no reason. In a challenge group, if you're a brand new challenger, you're encouraging people for no reason whatsoever. Who's doing that out there? My gosh. Okay, 3, You are interesting. If you don't believe that, you have to do a lot of personal development. Doesn't matter what I tell you about it. It's like my husband always told me I look great, but when he touched my love handle area, it was like I was being electrocuted. Like I tried to get away as much as possible because just the fact that he would feel that like muffin toppy thing, that he would touch that with his fingers and know it exists. He's seen me give birth, by the way. Like, I don't understand how that's not as much of a big deal to me than that love handle thing I had going on, the muffin top. But if he touched me, I would like leap over like an Olympian across the island so he wouldn't touch that part of my body because it was, what did I care what he said? Zero, I can't zero what he said. So if I'm telling you you're awesome and interesting, it means nothing if you're doing nothing about it to uncover it. So maybe ask your friends, like, hey, what's that okay about me? Like, get some positive love from your people that know you, and they'll be like, you're really funny, or you have this thing where you put people down, but in a really nice way. Just like figure out what your thing is and work on it and share it, because that's what makes you you. Okay, and then this is the part you need to get. You are ordinary. I'm ordinary. Everybody's freaking ordinary, and some people are extraordinary. But the most of us are pretty freaking ordinary. The difference is that we are ordinary people who want to stand out and help other people in an area that's very unpopular right now. It is unpopular to go to a party and tell them you are not going to eat the deep fried donuts stuffed with candy floss. That's unpopular. It's unpopular to tell people that you get up at 6 o'clock to work out. It's unpopular to turn down the third drink. It's unpopular not to eat dessert because you already had an insane main course. It's not popular to do that, and you're doing the unpopular thing that might actually change some horrible, horrible statistics. Like our kids. My kids are the first generation of humans on the planet that has a shorter life expectancy than their parents because of preventable disease. Our kids are scientifically projected to live shorter than you because of preventable disease, not the fat kids. People are like, not my kids are not fat. I see those other kids in the supermarkets, it's those kids. No, all the kids, statistically speaking, the majority of them are gonna die and live less than you. Why are we not horrified? Why are we not so worried about that? So it's unpopular. It's not popular to think like that. It's popular to be like, treat yourself, treat your children, have a drink. It's wine night. First of all, moms, I know wine relieves the stress of parenting, but you have 18 years of parenting ahead of you. You probably should find something else to relieve yourself with, because 18 years is a really long time to rely on wine. Like a really long time, like an alcoholic amount of long time, okay? So don't do it. Don't do it. And like when you post that stuff, just so you know, there's more women alcoholics now than men. And also the main emerging alcoholic is the stay-at-home mom. So yeah, don't share that Pinterest thing about the wine. It's bad. So just saying bad stuff. And here you are. You're like, I'm drinking less wine and I'm doing burpees at 6 o'clock in the morning. Good God, you sound like a terrible person to most people. And then they go, I need to do that too. So find your passion. Do it. Tell your network when you're not doing it too. Like, have ice cream with your frigging kids. Just don't have more ice cream than burpees. You know, don't do it. And then read, start with why. And I'm going to do one exercise. I'm going to stop sharing. It's like 10 seconds now because I'm done. Because people have probably gone into a coma. Okay, so I'm going to put everybody up where I can see you. Okay. So I want you all to write down on your phone, which is probably in front of you, or a piece of paper, a number. The number you're going to write down is the amount of money per week that if you earn, your family will change. So not $1 million, because I mean, who's not going to benefit from $1 million? But like maybe it's $500 a week. Maybe it's $100 a week. Maybe you've never helped anybody and you're brand new. So like $100 a week would be amazing. That's $450 a month extra. Maybe it's $250 and then you're talking $1,000 a month. If you're making $1,000 a month, that's $1,200 a year. That's a lot, right? So a reasonable number that will still change things. So not like $50. So maybe $500 a month. So that's like whatever you broke it up into. So write down your number. Now I want you to close your eyes, all of you, and I can see you, so I know you're doing it. Close your eyes and think about that number. think about the tables have turned. I am now telling you that you have to pay somebody that number per week to do exactly what you're doing right now. Is that a good investment? Would you pay somebody the amount you want to earn a week to do exactly what you're doing right now? Or are you going to say, are you freaking crazy? I'll never pay somebody that much money to do what I'm doing right now because I'm taking selfies and doing nothing. Think about that. Would you pay somebody the money you think you deserve a week for the performance you're putting in? That is what I do every time I'm unhappy with my paycheck. Every time I look at my paycheck and I'm like, come on, I just need to hit it once because then I know I'll hit it more often in a few months. And then I think, would I pay somebody as much as I'm wanting to make for what I did last week? No, that would be a terrible investment. I'd be like, I'd rather do it myself because I do a better job for less money. So think about it as a business. Are you working? Like, would you pay somebody to work like you're working? Are you really working? And then think about your passion. Are you leading with passion? Putting in the work and then marrying it with the passion. And you'll never stop doing it. And the months, I'm like, how am I at Success Club 6? And the month is ending. Like, this is weird. And 2 of them were leads. Oh my God, I've had 1 challenger? There are months when I'm like, and then I look through my Facebook and I'm like, I didn't make a single post that even spoke to me. I look back on my posts and I'm like, nothing here moved me. I'm not moved this month. Why am I not moved? Because I ate less well. I didn't do that many workouts. I didn't look in the mirror and go, yeah, I lost it. Like, it goes. It's never there permanently. It goes. And if you lose that joy and you go onto autopilot, people are like, they smell it. It's like children smell it when you're like eating chocolate or doing something you shouldn't be. Your network smells it when you're not passionate. So if you're having a bad month, look through your feed. Where is that thing that you love to post, right? And if you're not feeling it, go back to your soulmate program, to your meal plan, to your challenge group that gives you joy, to whatever the thing is that gives you joy, go back to that. If it's your team that's making you crazy, dump them for a little bit. If it's your challenges that are making you crazy, tell them to get it together because you need support too, right? So that's all I have. It's a lot. I'm sorry. And I talk a lot. But I hope you took all you need from a call like this is one takeaway to move you to the next takeaway. So you don't need to have like had 1,000 things, but I hope I gave you one thing that made you go like, that's stupid and true. So that's all I got.
That was awesome. I love it. It was fun. I messaged Shayla and was like, I feel like I'm at a comedy show. It's like a dinner theater. Like, you get all the value, but it's actually like probably the most entertainment I have had in like months. I'm going to watch the call again because it was actually like that funny. And I loved it. I love you. I love that call. And I took so much out of it. Like, I myself am like, hey, let's go. It's go time. Like, I'm excited. I think it's so important to be reminded all the time of like, if your business is not going the way that you want it to go do a check on your news feed, because chances are everything on there is like so uninspired, right? And I've done that a million times. I'm like, oh, that's why, because I stink. So that would make sense, right? Like, it's totally the way that it is. So I appreciate you for being, open and honest about that. I loved everything about the call. If you guys have any questions, you can post them in the chat really quick. The only question that I have for you is on expanding your market. What are you doing right now to expand your cold network?
Okay, so I have never been successful at ads. Like I am looking for 21 women who are ready to change their bodies and do portion fix. Maybe because I hate the fix. Like, I hate it so bad. I like all her other programs, but that one particularly, good God. So I never, when I tried to run ads, I made so many mistakes and it cost so much money. And the people it brought in were like, so I do free groups. I definitely do free groups. The thing with free groups is you really cannot fake it. You cannot take a free group from Pinterest or your upline coach and duplicate it. So to be good at free groups, your passion has to be 100%. Like with your network, your friends and family, you can be at like 70% and they're good because they know you. People that don't know you, you need to be 120%. So for me, my advice on free groups, yes, free groups, lots of value. But if you can't give them some sort of measurable result in a week, you stunk. So like eating salad is probably not going to change their lives. So if you're like doing jarred salads, you better be doing something sneaky with it. Jar salads, but also like finding out how they're doing and what can they change in their day, so that at the end of the week, they're not just like, oh, I lost 2 pounds because like I pooped my pants from eating green salads. But it could be like, I also now am starting to think that I have no hobbies and I'm a really lonely person. So maybe I need to like get together with people like this new person that I met that wants me to work out with her in a 30-day challenge. This is interesting. So I would say I do free groups though. Like that's the only way I expand. I used to boost events and now that stinks because everyone's doing it now. So now I'm just kind of like, hey, you want to like count macros or something? I like counting macros. I like Pio Live. So I'm connecting with people on stuff I like. Otherwise, I have no tolerance for them. I also get resentful in free groups where I'm like, why are you being such a bitch to me? I'm giving you something for free. So I need to love it or these people make me angry. So yeah, you need passion in free groups, but value. It's like everything. Everyone says like value, give them everything. But my tip would be start with something you measure at the beginning of the group. So like I do a fit test. How many push-ups can you do? And if you can't do a single push-up, oh my God, but can you do one on your toes? And then can you hold a plank and how long? So we connect on that and then we follow up with that at the end. So then they see a week with me, wow, they did 1 push-up. Or wow, they held the plank for like 20 seconds longer. And so they're now, you can't help me. You have helped me and you can help me more. And what do you mean now you're leaving this group? This is scary. So I would say that everyone's doing free groups, but just be different. Purple Cow. It's a terrible, boring book, but it's really true. Do something different that you love. And for the record, just the truth, personal development is the one thing people want to do for free groups because they're like, I'm a coach. I'm a therapist now. I'm going to do personal development with people and make them better people. Worst groups ever. Only extremely experienced coaches with very large followings who will do anything for them anyway can run personal development groups. Don't fool yourself unless you're like really a therapist. You probably will stink at a personal development group. Or like Alita Steele. She runs a marriage bootcamp free group that's like, she will whip you into shape, but she will whip you into shape. It's her thing. So be careful of the whole personal development trap.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. That's what I do too. I have the same like 2-week free group that I run every single month. Every single month. That's like all I do. And I don't do paid ads either. When I started as a coach, like 5 years ago, we were running paid ads like before the like Who Wants to Lose, like before 21 Day Fix. 21 Day Fix is not even existent yet. We were running paid ads for like 5 cents an impression and you would get like 200 friend requests from them for like $30. It was insane. Like crazy. And then we just like, no, then everyone started doing it right now.
I'm so lucky to miss that.
Network
like I walked into the $150 a day ads and I was like, no, what?
Yeah, no, paid ads are like,
yeah,
I'm totally not into it either. And I'm like you, like I like the heart in it. I like the heart in the business, right? Like you don't get that from a paid ad. It's like cheesy. And the people that come in are like just as cheesy as the ad. And it's like really hard to do.
Also, I would not click an ad like that.
No, I wouldn't either.
I do what my avatar would do. My avatar will respond to a half-naked woman offering them a free group of Pio. My avatar is like, I like her butt. Like, seriously, that's what my avatar would do because that's what I would do. And be like, oh, it's a free group. I don't care. I got nothing to lose. But my avatar would never click on you're going to get this portion control and also a shake. My avatar would be like, you weird on the internet. Is this shipped from China? I'll never click it. So find your avatar. And then like work, you know those like leggings, you see them on your Facebook and they look amazing and you're like, child labor, I don't know. I am terrible. I'm such an activist. Everything's ruined for me.
No, I think the same thing. As soon as you see those dresses, you're like, I don't know.
And people were like, what do you think about this dress? And I'm like, well, it's a picture from a runway and they're selling it for $20. I think it's a lie.
Yeah. I know, it's so bad. Do you guys have any other questions at all? No?
It was pretty self-explanatory, y'all.
Okay, I'm gonna